Hi, I'm Jack,
And I'm Liz.
and our presentation is on cryogenic aviation fuels.
Cryogenic fuels are liquid fuels with boiling points below negative 150 degrees Celsius, requiring extremely low storage temperatures to remain in a liquid state. Liquid hydrogen is especially advantageous due to its high energy density, which allows a larger amount of potential energy to be stored at a smaller mass. This is particularly useful for aerospace applications where reducing weight is crucial. For instance, hydrogen has 100 times the specific energy of batteries and 3 times that of jet fuel. Another important reason to turn our attention to cryogenic aviation fuels is because it is a possible fuel alternative to decarbonize the aviation industry.
Some of the areas where liquid hydrogen is going to need further development to become an aviation fuel are around fuel storage, specifically considerations around storing a super cold liquid at negative 253 degrees inside of a pressurized tank. Also, the propulsion systems are going to need to be rethought, so either combusting the gas directly inside of a turbine or using a fuel cell to power electricity, turning a electric motor and propeller. And then these two considerations, as well as others, will lead to radical changes in aircraft design in order to accommodate different propulsion systems, fuel tanks, and anything else that goes along with these hydrogen systems.
The first propulsion system using cryogenic aviation fuels is direct combustion, which follows a similar process as conventional turbofan engines, but uses cryogenic fuels instead, such as liquid hydrogen to combust with oxygen. The byproduct of this chemical reaction is water vapor. Hydrogen can combust across a wide range of fuel-air mixtures, including a lean mixture, which can improve fuel economy. Additionally, its high auto-ignition temperature enables a higher compression ratio, reducing energy loss during combustion.
The second and more currently viable way that hydrogen is used to power aircraft is inside of a fuel cell. So basically, that is where the hydrogen enters on one side of this cell, and in between the hydrogen and the oxygen on the other side, there is this um, membrane, the PEM, which is the proton exchange membrane, where the protons of hydrogen pass through and the electrons are split from it, traveling around a wire that then creates an electric current used to drive the engines, the electric motors connected to propellers. And so this is more prominent currently in aircraft, and a lot of companies already have fuel cells being used because they were developed in other industries first.
Hydrogen electric engines are ideal for transitioning to clean aviation due to their zero emissions and lower fuel and maintenance costs. In 2022, 28% of US greenhouse gas emissions came from the transportation sector, with over 94% of this sector's fuel being petroleum-based, which results in direct carbon emissions. Although aviation accounts for 2 to 3% of global greenhouse emissions, its impact is expected to grow as air travel increases and other sectors decarbonize.
Some of the benefits for liquid hydrogen are that hydrogen is environmentally friendly when it's burned, creating only water. It has a high energy density per unit mass, and also hydrogen has lower fuel and maintenance costs associated with it.
Hydrogen electric propulsion is critical to achieving net zero carbon emissions by 2050, as outlined in the Aviation Climate Action Plan. Sustainable hydrogen production is another essential aspect of this mission. Green hydrogen, for example, is created via electrolysis using renewable energy sources. This process can be integrated on-site or near aviation facilities, minimizing emissions from fuel production.
Hydrogen is a energy dense fuel in terms of mass. So you can see that hydrogen on the right has nearly 3 times the energy density of traditional carbon fuels like Jet A or aviation gas or automotive gas. Additionally, liquid natural gas is a current fuel that's being researched by the industry. However, it is not as prominent as liquid hydrogen is, and it has a lower energy density than liquid hydrogen.
Liquid hydrogen offers lower operating costs for aerospace applications. It has lower fuel costs than typical jet fuel or sustainable aviation fuels due to its abundance in natural molecules. And as green hydrogen production scales up, costs will continue to decrease. Additionally, hydrogen engines have an estimated 60% reduction in maintenance costs compared to turboprop engines due to it having fewer moving parts.
Some challenges that are associated with liquid hydrogen are the complexity of systems designed to power aircraft using it. Additionally, aircraft weight will need to increase to accommodate these systems that aren't as fully developed since they are newer. And additionally, long-haul flights is going to be a challenge with liquid hydrogen because it would require a large volume of this hydrogen to power an aircraft for a long distance.
Liquid hydrogen presents challenges due to the complexity of cryogenic fuel storage tanks. These tanks must manage temperature, control phase changes, detect leaks, and provide pressure relief systems. This complexity results in tanks requiring 4 times the storage volume of kerosene. They also account for 8 to 10% of an aircraft's operating empty weight.
As I mentioned, long-haul flights will be difficult using liquid hydrogen currently because current aircraft design doesn't have the space to accommodate large amounts of hydrogen. So to accommodate this, aircraft will either need to increase in size overall to store enough liquid hydrogen to power it on a long distance flight, or one other area that is currently being looked at are blended wing body concepts. So incorporating the wings into the fuselage and kind of not really defining each super firmly, but having one big wing that's also a fuselage in the middle. This would allow more area for passengers and hydrogen fuel cylinders to exist inside of this wider middle section. Electric aircraft have been looked at using batteries to power aircraft, but this is less energy dense and less viable than hydrogen, which is currently the technology is almost there to start using for longer distance flights.
We have found 3 companies to include in our presentation that are currently testing aircraft powered by cryogenic aviation fuels: Zero Avia, Stralis, and Airbus.
The first company that is using hydrogen fuel cells to power aircraft is Zero Avia. They currently fly this Dornier aircraft, which has one hydrogen engine and one typical turboprop engine. So on the right, you can see that is the hydrogen fuel cell engine, and on the left is the regular turboprop engine. That's just for safety because the aircraft will still be able to fly even if the hydrogen engine doesn't work. However, this aircraft has been very successful and they're hoping to fly one with both hydrogen engines soon. Additionally, Zero Avia has partnered with Alaskan Airlines to produce a larger airliner that will be entirely hydrogen based. That'll be a Dash 8 series, which is an aircraft Alaska currently uses for passenger flights.
Stralis is an Australian-based aviation company developing high-performance, low-cost, emission-free aircraft. Currently, they are retrofitting a 15-seat aircraft with a hydrogen electric engine designed to fly 10 times farther than battery electric alternatives. The aircraft, offering a range of 800 kilometers, is 50% cheaper to operate than fossil fuel-powered planes and is expected to take flight in 2026.
The biggest company that is currently researching hydrogen aircraft is Airbus. So they currently have a fuel cell engine and a cryogenic tank flying on the side of an Airbus A380 jet. This has been really promising for them, and so they are set to have passenger airliners ready by 2035. This is an ambitious milestone, so hopefully they reach it, but that's a pretty near-term goal that is exciting. Their zero E concepts include 3 different aircraft. The first is a turboprop aircraft, which will be smaller and shorter range flights using a fuel cell. And then they have a turbofan aircraft, which is like a current airliner, but using hydrogen to power the turbofan, which would mean less development of the airframe and more development of the engine. And lastly, their future goal is a blended wing body aircraft, which would be a entirely revolutionary fuselage paired with revolutionary hydrogen engines. And that would be the ideal scenario for them, which would be allowing them to carry lots of passengers long distances.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.